here. It's kind of like how I manifested my Teresa Caputo tickets. Have I told you about that?
I saw that online. How did you do that? That's the most brilliant thing. I know people say all these things about her, but I love her.
Well, I really wanted the tickets, so I was like, okay, I'm going to manifest this. She was coming to Hanover. I'm sorry, Hershey. I guess maybe 8 years ago. It's been a while. So, I wanted to meet her. So I heard on the radio station a commercial, and it gave the number. So I called the number, and they said 101.3. I think it was the Rose. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it was. And I said, hi, is this the phone number that you call for Teresa Caputo tickets? And they said, well, yes, it is. I said, well, my name is Pam, and I'm winning those tickets tomorrow, and you'll be talking to me tomorrow. And the girl went, oh, okay, okay. So I put it in my phone, and I put it in, like, the memory. And I'm driving to work. It was before the Ghost Exchange. And I pulled it up on my phone. I did not hit anything. It was just, like, in the memory. And my phone dialed. And I'm like, oh, man. So the first instinct was to just click it off, because I had, like, 4 minutes before it was time to get the ticket.
Right.
So I put it up to my ear, and the DJ went, congratulations, you're the 10th caller. And I was like, oh, my God. And they went, who's calling? And I said, this is Pam. And the disc jockey went, no way. So I manifested that, and I manifested to be in her presence is what I manifested. And I asked my guides for. I did not get called on for a reading, but she came over. She touched my shoulder, and she was in my presence, and that's what I asked my spirit guides for, and that's what they gave me.
Yeah, you kind of
So
have to be
manifest your
specific if you want
future,
more.
manifest it. Everything that you want to attain, as long as it's for the greater good, is within your grasp.
I love that. And I didn't used to believe that. I do now. But I was like, oh, well, these people are just, which is funny because I've been called a Pollyanna all my life, right? But people were always so, oh, well, you can do this, and, just manifest it, make it so, claim that. And depending on which class you were in or which group of people you were talking to, there was different terminology. And I mean, I'm a child of the 70s. I graduated from high school in 1980, and my grandma was New Age before there was New Age. So,
yeah.
And I didn't know that the things that I did were unusual. So, I had no idea. But it is something that you can do. And
absolutely. You have to feel it.
You do.
You have to not accept no. And you just have to think of it in the present and give thanks for it and gratitude and go forward. You know what? Before I owned the Gettysburg Ghost Exchange, I would go on the internet and buy things, or I would be at a store and I would pick things up, and people would say, what's that for? And I'd say, it's for my store. And they'd laugh at me. Okay, it's for her store. No, it's for my store.
Right.
So, and I still have some of those things in my store that I haven't sold, that I've kept them. But they're in my store. I manifested it.
Yeah. I think that's beautiful.
I'm the only woman CEO in the paranormal field to own a store.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Kudos to you. That's cool.
Yay. But you know what? I have to give, that's why I have Customer Appreciation Day every year, because it's my customers and my friends as to why I am successful. That is why.
Well, I would agree to an extent, but you have to have the vision. And you have to be the person that those people want to support. And you do that.
I guess. I accept that. I agree with that, I guess. See, I like to give positivity. To accept it is another one of my lessons I need to learn.
It's difficult.
I need to learn how to accept it.
It's hard. I think that kind of trained not to do that. But you know what? We are up against our 3-minute break, and we will be right back, people, with Pam Barry.
You are listening to WPHM Digital Broadcasting. The best in paranormal talk radio.
And just like that, we're back. I'm Kat. I'm the host of Paranormal Experience Radio, and I am joined tonight by my guest, Pam Barry. Hey, Pam.
Hello.
Hello. So, are you having fun yet?
I am. I'm having a blast.
Me too. Well, what do you have that you want to share and that I haven't touched on yet? You're so varied. You had mentioned the Paranormal After Party. I know that Steve was heavily involved in that and had so much fun. That was a great crew.
That was a fun group. It was.
And, you know, I just find things like that interesting because there's so many people that I know who wind up working together that I never realized. And then I come across a bio somewhere and I'm like, oh my gosh, they did that too. So, right. So, what else did you have happen that made you feel like you were totally on the right path, that the Ghost Exchange was going to happen, that it was going to be as successful as it has turned out to be, which is pretty phenomenal, really. It's awesome. And, you know, I know that you had just needed to come to Gettysburg, but were you just manifesting the whole time through?
Looking back, I just had faith that that me and my kids weren't going to become a victim, that we were going to become victorious. So anybody out there who's in, an abusive relationship or working a job that's minimum wage and feeling like you're never getting ahead. Change that vibration. Don't settle for that. Don't let that be the final chapter in your life. Do not let that define you. Change the vibration and manifest your future. It can happen. And if I can help one person, whether it's a man or woman, learn that lesson, or a kid, then the things that I went through, that's exactly why I went through that, Then I met Steve, and Steve passed away, and he saw what was behind that veil, and it just gives you faith. What he saw and the messages he came back with for everyone, it just gives you faith. Have faith. That's my message to everyone. Don't give up.
So many times you see people and it seems like they are, and you can feel around them, right? And you know that whatever it is that matters to them is on the verge of happening. And that always seems to be when they start losing hope. It's like not the universe, but the negativity is trying to pull them back away from it. And it's like, no, just keep on.
Sometimes I put blessings on the bottom of my shoes. I'll give Reiki to the bottom of my shoes. And when I say that, people are like, what? Because I want to leave that trail of blessings behind me for someone to step in who's having a bad day. And then all of a sudden they're a little bit, their step is a little more lively. I kind of leave that behind. Just like, don't be afraid to smile at somebody, because I would rather be on the end of not receiving that smile back than giving somebody a frown.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. That's, you get out what you put in on just about everything. I like the idea about putting the energy on your shoes. That's just such an easy thing to do.
It truly is, because when you put those shoes on, you're wearing that energy. You have that. You're grounding yourself.
Yeah.
And then you're leaving it behind for others who need it.
That's brilliant. And I'm going to have to do that. I'm glad you shared that, because it's such a little thing to do, but the impact is so, the possibilities are endless.
You know why I came up with that? I saw a meme or meme, however you say it. I'm so old. And it said, leave a trail of glitter behind you. And I thought, well, I'm going to do better than that. I'm going to bless and leave good vibrations for people. So that's my glitter.
Pretty good glitter.
I know I'm corny.
It's awesome. I'm corny too. I love it. But, it just, because there is so much, people run into so much negativity, no matter what kind of outlook you're trying to have. Apparently right now, in this time frame, it's very difficult to find shelter from things that are just really not the best. And I'm hoping that alleviates somewhat. I know that there's a lot of manifestation going on to try to make it better. What do you think the best way, other than the shoes and the smiles and I try to pay it forward sometimes by buying a meal or, just whatever little thing is going on. But when it comes down to seeing serious needs in the world, how do you approach that?
It's kind of like a lot of different kinds of people come in and out of my store every day. And it's what, I just accept the good in all. Mm-hmm. There's good and bad. I just accept the good. Even, the nastiest mood, the nastiest illness, there's good in all of it. You just have to find the good. Kind of like the lotus. The lotus, it's roots are in that mud and that murky